Hello, everyone. Thanks for coming back to another episode of Inner City Cultural League After School Program. I'm Miss Kristen, and we are going to continue talking about smoking today. So, the last time we talked about smoking, we actually spoke about what myths versus what reality is for smoking. So today I'm going to talk to you just a little bit about your heart in smoking, because a lot of times people don't think about your heart when you think about smoking, or you don't really understand how smoking can affect your heart. So we're going to talk a little bit about that today. And I'm getting my information again from our life skills training book, which is by Dr. Gilbert Plotman. He gives us a lot of our information on our prevention lessons, whether it be for tobacco prevention, alcohol prevention, or drug prevention, or just healthy lifestyles in general, and how you look at yourself and what you're doing with your life to keep yourself healthy. So it says that the heart, it's telling about the heart rate. So your heart rate is the number of times that your heart beats every minute. So an average heart rate is between 60 to 90 beats per minute. When you smoke cigarettes, your heart rate, it races, it goes up, so it beats faster. And that might not sound like a big deal, because you'll say, okay, well, when I'm exercising, my heartbeat will go faster. So what's the difference between my heartbeat racing when I'm exercising as opposed to my heartbeat racing when I'm smoking? Two different things. They're on opposite sides of the spectrum. So when your heart is racing, when you're exercising, that means you're getting your cardio in and you're making your heart stronger. When your heart is beating fast, when you're smoking, it's because it's making your heart weaker. So that's something that we definitely want to remember. When your heart is beating faster because of the chemical called nicotine that's in cigarettes. This increases the heart rate by acting on the part of your body called the adrenal glands. So the adrenal glands are found in your kidneys, and when you smoke, the adrenal glands cause the kidneys to release powerful chemicals into your body. So it's these chemicals that are getting released into your body from your organ, your kidney. When this happens, this causes the walls of your heart to contract. So when you think about contractions, it's like squeezing. So every time you're smoking a cigarette, your kidneys are releasing these chemicals, these toxins into your heart. That's making your heart squeeze and clench up. And so your heart is trying to beat faster, trying to work around that contraction. At the same time, carbon monoxide, which I told you again, that's toxic. That's, you don't want to have to breathe in or inhale carbon monoxide. At the same time, your heart is contracting and squeezing up because of the nicotine causing the kidneys to release these chemicals into your heart. At the same time, carbon monoxide that's inhaled by the cigarette, it's going to reduce the oxygen in the blood. So it's causing your heart to pump faster. So you got a few different things going on here. Every time you take a puff of a cigarette, now you have your kidneys releasing these chemicals. When your kidneys releasing the chemicals, it's sending these signals to your heart, which it's making your heart contract. And also, as you're inhaling that cigarette, at the same time your heart is contracting, your blood is thinning out because of it's reducing the oxygen in the blood and it's forcing your heart to beat faster. So it's getting clenched and it's beating faster. Not a great combination at all. So this definitely causes strain on your heart. And over time, this can cause severe damage to your heart and it can stop working. You can have a heart attack. You can have heart disease because of this. This is not something that takes 30, 40, 50, 60 years to happen. This can happen in a very short amount of time, especially paired or coupled with other things that you're doing in your life that may not be the healthiest. Okay. So some interesting facts that we have is physical activity causes the body to need more oxygen and it makes your heart beat faster. So when you're doing exercises and your heart is beating fast, you're wondering why your heart is beating so fast. It's because your heart is trying to get all of the oxygen out of your blood, or trying to pump your blood faster to make more oxygen. Another interesting fact is that people who don't smoke and who do exercise regularly may sometimes have a healthy resting heart rate as low as 30 to 40 beats per minute. So let's say Average is between 60 to 90 beats a minute. If you're exercising a lot and you're not smoking any cigarettes, your resting heart rate can go as low as 30 to 40 beats per minute. That's exceptional. And that means you're getting all the oxygen that your body needs without having to pump, super fast and super hard. Another interesting fact is that cigarette smoking can decrease the delivery of the oxygen to your muscles during vigorous exercise. So, if you're smoking cigarettes regularly and then you're trying to exercise and work out, like, okay, I'm going to kind of counteract what I'm doing with the cigarettes by exercising and working out, it's not really going to have the same effect because it's going to make the exercising more of an effort for you to do. So, you're going to get tired faster, which means you're not going to want to exercise as much. Another interesting fact is that nicotine increases the levels of blood lactate. So when exercising, elevated levels of blood lactate can make people feel fatigued or feel like quitting. So again, the more you smoke and try to exercise, the more it's going to make you feel like, oh gosh, I'm tired. I don't feel like doing this anymore. And you're going to just want to sit down and quit and give up. Whereas though, if you're not smoking and you're exercising, it tends to give you more energy and you feel like, okay, now I can do some more exercise and I have more energy now. In some people, cigarette smoke can also trigger asthma symptoms. So this can also make it impossible for you to exercise until these symptoms subside. So if you already have asthma or you have had asthma in the past, or even if you have allergies, seasonal allergies, if you have allergies to animals, if you have allergies to pollen in the air, which means when the seasons change, if you're smoking, that's going to aggravate your asthma. It's going to aggravate your allergies. So now, not only are you itchy and you can't breathe, now you can't breathe even more. Now your heart's pounding more and now you're tired and you just don't feel like doing anything. So some things to remember are, as far as your heart rate, is that the speed at which your heart beats changes throughout the day. So your heart is not beating at the same speed the entire day. And several things can affect how slow or how fast your heart is beating. These things can include physical exercise. So if you're working out, your heart is going to beat a little bit faster. Your emotions can cause your heart to beat faster or slower as well. If you feel yourself getting anxious or nervous, or if you're angry and you feel like your heart is like pumping out of your chest, if you take a moment to kind of decompress your emotions, do some breathing exercises, you can literally feel your heartbeat slowing down, which is an awesome thing. Another thing that can make your heart rate increase or decrease, again, is cigarette smoking. So every time you take a puff of a cigarette, your heart rate is increasing. It's getting faster. Smokers have higher heart rates due to the carbon monoxide and nicotine in cigarette smoke. And another thing to remember about your heart rate is that people who smoke have a greater risk of heart disease and heart attacks. So that's something that I want you guys to always remember, because heart disease and heart attacks are no joke. And you don't have to be elderly or even middle age to have a heart attack or to get heart disease. It can happen. I've seen children have heart attacks. I've seen teenagers have heart attacks. I've seen young adults have heart attacks, and people can actually die from this. So one day you're fine and you think you're looking cool outside smoking a cigarette with your homies or your friends, and the next minute you're laying on the ground. What do you think those homies are going to be able to do to help you out? They're not going to be able to do anything to help you out. None of them are doctors, I'm quite sure. And if they are, they probably should be telling you not to smoke. All right. So something else that I want you guys to think about is your hand steadiness. So when you smoke, your hands tend to shake more. You tend to be a little jittery. Like, have you ever tried to hold a pencil and draw a straight line, and the line is not super straight? It's kind of like a little wiggly. Your hand's a little jittery. That comes from smoking cigarettes sometimes. So you'll notice, especially if you're an artist, if you like to draw, you can say, oh, well, I don't want to be a professional athlete because I don't have those talents or those abilities, or that's not my strength. So why should I worry about smoking? I'm an artist. I just want to sit and draw, and sitting and drawing doesn't require much of my heart rate to rise or fall. But if you're an artist and you're smoking, now your hand's not steady. Now you can't draw as well. You can't even write as well because your hand's not steady. it actually causes something called tremors or tension in your hands. So nicotine causes that because, again, it's a stimulant, and you hear stimulant. So when something stimulates you, it kind of puts it, it kind of it makes things more accelerated. So instead of calming you down, like a lot of people will say, oh, well, smoking calms me down. Actually, smoking does something in your body to make you more nervous. It makes you more anxious. It makes your nervous system more stimulated. So that's not a good thing. All right. If you want to relax, again, like I told you guys, always try meditation, always try your breathing exercises. I've got a at least a couple videos on that, but I'm going to go back to that. We're going to circle back around a few more videos ahead, and I'm going to tell you guys again about how to kind of calm yourselves down if you feel like, oh, I'm stressed. And I've seen people that were stressed needing a cigarette. There's other ways to calm yourself down, and there's other ways to feel good that will actually have a long-term lasting effect that will be extremely beneficial to you. Trust me, you're young now, but the older you get, you'll start to feel these things in your body, and you'll start to say, maybe I should have taken better care of my body when I was younger. Maybe I would feel a little bit better now. So let's start now. If you start now, you'll live longer, you'll live a happier, healthier life, and you'll have more quality of life. You'll enjoy your life more, and you won't stink because cigarette smoking stinks. So they don't want that. All right. So until next time, I will see you guys, and stay healthy, stay safe. Bye. All right. So, welcome to another episode of Inner City Cultural League After School Program. I am Miss Kristen, and today I'm going to be talking to you again about some life skills training by Dr. Gilbert Botman. So, the last time we were together, we talked about smoking. We talked about the myths of smoking versus the reality of smoking. And we talked about how smoking affects your body, how it affects your brain and your other organs. Today, we're going to be talking about alcohol in that same capacity. So how does alcohol affect your body and your brain? What are the myths and the realities associated with alcohol? So children, I'm going to need you guys to pay attention because I am going to be asking you some questions. All right. So can everybody hear me okay? Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Thumbs up? All right. Wonderful. Beautiful. Okay. So what is alcohol? Alcohol is a drug contained in beverages like beer, wine coolers, and liquor. After you drink it, alcohol is absorbed through the walls of the stomach and the intestines directly into the bloodstream. Then it travels through the blood to your brain. When it travels, it depresses or it slows down the brain's activity. So once the alcohol gets to your brain, it's slowing everything down. So remember we talked about smoking and how smoking kind of like gives you the jitters. It's a stimulant, so it kind of makes you anxious and nervous. Alcohol is a depressant, so that kind of slows everything down. It has the opposite effect of smoking. So a small amount of alcohol in your body can slow down your ability to think clearly, and it can cause people to make poor decisions. So if you have just a little bit of alcohol in your system, then you're not going to be making the best decisions as you would if you don't have alcohol in your system, if you're completely sober. Another thing, it causes people to feel more daring than usual and to take risks. So some people like to drink alcohol because they say, oh, it makes me feel like I'm brave, or it makes me be able to do things that I wouldn't normally be able to do. But the downside to that is that sometimes it'll make you do things that, or it'll kind of encourage you to do things that are not really the best choice for you. So it'll cause you to take risks that may not be too healthy. So if everybody's like if you've ever heard the saying, oh, if all your friends jump off the bridge, are you going to do it? If you're drunk, you probably will. You'll probably come crashing to your death. So drinking alcohol does not allow you to make the best decisions. It allows you to take risks that are probably not the best for your life. That's just with a small amount of alcohol. Now, if you drink larger amounts of alcohol, this can slow down the brain and the nervous system. It can cause dizziness. So if you've seen people sometimes when they're drinking and they stand up and they're kind of like, whoa, they're dizzy from not spinning around, or everything is just kind of off. Their equilibrium is off. It can decrease your coordination. So let's say if you point to your nose like that, when you're sober, you're completely able to do that. If you try to do that when you're drinking, you're probably going to poke yourself in the eye or something like that. Your coordination is going to be completely off. It will decrease your reaction time. So if something's coming at you, you have reactions. It's like a knee-jerk reaction. If something's coming at you quickly, you're going to flinch or you're going to move out the way. If you're drinking large amounts of alcohol, something's going to come at you really fast and you're not going to be able to flinch. You're not going to have that quick reaction time like you normally would if you were sober. It also makes it harder to speak, walk, and stay awake. So if you've seen people drinking large amounts of alcohol, a lot of times you'll hear them slurring their words. It'll sound like they can't really speak correctly. You'll see them walking kind of like zigzag and slumped over. They can't walk straight. They can't talk straight. And a lot of times it will also cause them to fall asleep like that. So you'll see somebody sitting in a chair and all of a sudden they're sleeping. That happens to me when I eat too much food, but that happens to people when they drink too, because it's like all of a sudden they're conscious one moment and then they're unconscious the next. This can also cause temporary memory loss. So there's some people that they call it blacking out when they drink large amounts of alcohol. They'll black out. They completely don't remember what happened when they were drinking. This is very, very dangerous because you can find yourself in some very toxic situations. When you wake up, you're going to wake up someplace that you don't even know where you are. You don't know the people that are around you. You don't remember what happened when you were drinking. You don't want to do that because you can be committing crimes. You can be doing things that are probably not the best for your future or your body or your life. So you don't want to get in a situation like that ever. Okay. Alcohol also affects your behavior because it causes some people to get aggressive. So some people, when they drink, they want to fight. Some people, when they drink, they want to argue and they want to shoot guns and they just want to act crazy because they're feeling super aggressive, super angry, and all of their frustrations, all of their stress, all of a sudden comes out because they've been drinking. It can also cause you to talk louder than normal. So you hear some people when they're drinking, they get really loud and they might get silly. They might laugh at everything. They might act foolish or obnoxious. A lot of times when you drink alcohol, it'll make you act like super obnoxious. So you're thinking you're the life of the party, you're having a good time, and you're feeling a certain type of way inside of your body, but then everybody that's looking at you, they see something completely different. So they're seeing you being loud, they're seeing you being aggressive, they're seeing you laughing at stuff that's not even funny, and they're kind of whispering behind your back like, yo, she's tripping right now. I don't even know if she realizes how stupid she looks. Yeah, she looks really dumb. You don't want to give yourself that type of reputation, okay? So those are just some things that ways that alcohol can affect your body. So can you give me one way that alcohol can affect you, whether a small amount or a large amount? Just call out anything from what I just said. Will it affect?
Or talk really, really loud. Come on. What was the question?
The question was, how does alcohol affect you, either small amounts or large amounts of alcohol? How can it affect you, like how you act or how you walk or talk?
If you take a large amount, then you get drunk and you can't really walk because you're getting delusional.
Yeah.
And the way you talk, you're getting forgetful and crazy.
That's awesome. You answered like 5 different questions. Thank you, Selena. Very, very good. Yes. All of those things are definitely effects of drinking alcohol. So then people say, well, why would people drink? There's reasons why people drink. Some of it is to get a high. So people think that the best way to get a high is to drink alcohol or to take drugs. Now, the reality with that is that drinking alcohol and taking drugs, it produces a temporary high. So it'll make you feel a different type of way for a specific amount of time, but then it also has like a really quick crash, which means that you can feel high one moment and then you'll feel like super duper low the next moment once it wears off. And once it wears off, you'll feel down, you'll feel tired, you can feel depressed, you can feel anxious, you'll have that feeling like you want more, you just want to keep chasing that high. So that's something that you really don't want to start. If you do want to feel a high, there are different ways to feel a natural high that don't have a crash, that are great for you, that are good for your body, they're good for your mind. And some of those ways are exercise, sports. So every time I work out, there's like endorphins that get released into my body. And so I'm feeling great after I work out. I might be tired, my legs might feel like spaghetti, but I still feel good. I feel like, ooh, what's next? I could do this. All right. Other ways are dance, music, art, achievement, prayer, meditation, friendship, and love. Those are just a few different ways to get that high without having that crash or without deteriorating your body in different ways. Another myth is that your friends won't want to hang out with you if you don't drink a lot. And the reality to that is that most people don't even realize how much others are drinking. So if you have friends or people around you that drink and you're worried that these people won't want to hang out with you if you're not drinking, most times that's not true, because if they're drinking, remember, when you're drinking, you're not really focused. Your mind isn't focused how it normally would be. They're not even focused on you and what you're drinking. So you can be drinking soda, you could be drinking juice or water. They're not really paying attention to you. They're focusing on getting their high. So don't worry about what other people, and even if they are focused on you and if they're trying to pressure you, we talked about good peer pressure before and bad peer pressure before. And if somebody is going to pressure you to do things that are going to kind of make your body feel bad and nasty on the inside, and they're going to have like bad effects on your body long term, then you don't want to be friends with that person anyway. You don't want to be around people like that, because when it comes down to it, people that don't want the best for you, they don't have your best interest at heart, those aren't real friends. Those are toxic friendships. That's something else we talked about. So you guys can go back in the videos and look at that one too. But there are reasons that people don't drink. There's a lot of reasons why people don't drink. Some of those reasons are that people don't like the taste. Alcohol can have a very strong taste. You hear alcohol, and you know how rubbing alcohol smells? It has a similar taste. So alcohol doesn't have the best taste. People don't like getting drunk. When you're drunk, you don't really have control over your actions or your emotions like you would if you're sober. You're not thinking clearly. People don't like that feeling of a loss of control, which is smart. You don't want to get fat. So when you drink alcohol, it has a lot of calories, a lot of calories. So the more alcohol you drink, you know how you see people walking around and they call it a beer belly because they got a huge belly. It looks like it looks like it could be a man and he looks like he's pregnant because he's got a beer belly. He likes to drink a lot of beer. That's a lot of calories and that's sitting in your stomach. All of that stuff that's producing fat cells and it's making you gain weight. It goes against people's religious values. It's illegal. So if you're under 21 and you want to drink alcohol or smoke a cigarette, it's illegal. And you can get in trouble for that legally. You don't want to start getting a record before you're even 21 because you want to be cool or think that you look cool drinking alcohol or smoking cigarettes. It's not worth it. Trust me. People don't drink because they want to stay in shape for sports. So the more you drink, again, it's kind of like a depressant. It makes you slow down. It makes you drowsy. It makes you feel depressed. You don't want to get up and go play sports. A lot of times when people drink alcohol, the next day they're feeling all nasty and groggy. Their stomach hurts. They got a headache. That's called a hangover. That's a great reason not to drink alcohol ever because you don't want that feeling. If you have that feeling, then you're dragging. You're not ever going to want to get up and do things with your friends and have fun, enjoying life. People don't want to look stupid or foolish. Again, when you're drinking alcohol, you think you look cool and you're tripping over your feet, you're not able to speak clearly, you're laughing at silly stuff, and people are looking at you like, okay, you look real dumb right now, but you think that you look cool. So people don't want to look stupid or foolish, and they want to look cool, so they don't drink. And the last reason is that they want to stay in control and they want to think clearly. So again, your inhibitions are lowered when you drink. You're not the same person that you are when you're sober. You're not going to make the same great decisions that you would when you're sober. You're not going to be able to be as quick-witted when you're sober as when you're, as when you're sober if you drink. A lot of times, if you have a good sense of humor, you're not funny anymore when you drink. So a lot of these things, keep these in mind if you think about drinking before you're 21. After you're 21, the decision is yours legally. It's completely yours. But before 21, we don't want those effects to create something that's going to be a long-term detriment to your health, to your friendships, or to your life. All right, so you want to stay away from the alcohol, you want to stay away from the tobacco, you want to stay away from the drugs. We want to stay healthy, we want to stay happy, we want to stay fun and fit and having a great time with our friends and our families, okay? So next time we are going to talk about marijuana, weed, reefer, whatever you want to call it. We'll talk about that next time, all right? Until then, it's been great. I'm Miss Kristen, and I'll see you next time. Bye.